Hello everyone and welcome to today's showcase on Dark Souls 3. Now, we've covered many unique weapons so far, some effective, some not effective, but the majority of them have one inherent weakness. They're melee based. Now, I don't plan to cover crossbows or bows because they don't scale with the individual, they simply have a straight upgrade path and have the same result either way. So that's why I won't ever cover those. But there are some weapons that are both a sword and a projectile at once. So today I'll be covering the Crescent Moon Sword, truly a unique weapon. It is both a sword, a strange looking one at that, and a projectile. This makes it quite different and useful. Anyway, description reads, Ring-Finger Leohard's weapon of choice, a type of shotel imbued with the power of the moon. Leohard set out on a journey of rebirth, but decided instead to serve the goddess as a knight and inherit this weapon. Now, I think he means Rosanna. You know that one, since, or maybe not, he would prefer you kill her. I'm not sure which goddess they refer to as. I'm not too keen on the lore of this game. Anyway, the skill is the Crescent Blade. Assume a broad stance and fire for Crescent Moon blades. Now, it's weird they call that plural, but whatever. It is what it is. Now, this weapon you have to get to quite a bit of a ricochet down through a few quests, and ending with you killing Leohard. Then again, the cunt never helps you during a boss fight, so nothing lost, really. Anyway, the blade looks like a weird shotel. What's a shotel? It is a rather curved blade. Don't mistake it for a curved sword. Most of these ones try to do a semicircle whole ordeal. Mind you, the picture I brought up is a more realistic one. The blade here, this Crescent Moon blade, would be very unrealistic, and I'm not even sure you would heat this thing evenly in a forge. But yes, these weapons are designed to go around shields, which is one of their key factors, where you can flip it around and then go around and jab your opponent's ribs or arm or neck, wherever you're aiming. But yes, these weapons are not too complicated by means, and they're actually pretty light. Though this one, the Crescent Moon Sword, seems very different. Not only has a Crescent Moon shape, you have a rather blade hook right at the base of the Crescent Moon, where a protruding rod sticks out. I'm assuming you can catch your opponent's blade in that would be the idea. The crossguard is almost pointless in this weapon. Like really, I don't see the point of it, but whatever. Now, going on to the stats of the weapon. Physical is okay. At first you'd think, okay, physical's not that great, but it has added magic damage. However, the magic damage does not scale. It has no bonus damage. It is simply a base stat. With that said, moving on to achieve bonus, we get nothing for strength, but get C for dexterity, but we're not going to get very much C since the overall physical damage is so low. So we shouldn't expect too much out of this, in terms of that. Now the achievement requirement is weird, it's just weird. Like you gotta get that strength, and then you get that dexterity. Like why do you ask for like no strength, and then add for terms of bonus, and then ask you to have 10 strength? Ugh, my mind is full of fuck. But anyway, you need 16 dexterity, which is an average amount. Moving on from that, you get the Crescent Blade move, which costs a very fixed amount of 15 FP. You can't really charge it up or follow up with another attack. It's simply one simple attack, and cannot be followed up with a plain old attack. Now, with all that said, it is fairly robust. You actually got quite a bit of damage coming out of this when you consider the magic being added. That is around 150, plus 40. So it's not bad actually, really it isn't. Okay, the animations. The majority of attacks follow here to the plain old curved sword attacks, since the shotel is part of the curved sword group. But that isn't really a horrible thing. It's okay. But yes, it's still a bit bland. The only unique thing we're going to have about this animation is the special attack. But oh well. There isn't that many curved swords. The special attack has charge up for a few seconds and it releases a wave of energy. They travel quite a distance, and the sprint attack is simply a basic hook. Also, it does not change your kick animation, unfortunately. Now for the upgrade, This is the weird part about this weapon. It's upgraded with using Titanite scale. Normally, this stuff is reserved for boss weapons. But yet, here it is. Now, even though the Atria bonus does go from a C to a B, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. But it's at least nice there. But yes, as you see, the magic does get increased, but does not scale with intelligence. And oddly enough, the Atria bonus went to an A now for dexterity. Weird, that was the fastest transition from C to A I've ever seen in any weapon. And because of its nature with Titanite scale, it cannot be infused, which is unfortunately a con. So how well does it do in the field? Well, with this weapon, you can sucker punch each enemy you run into. They're being real lollygagging towards you? Well, throw your blade at them. So any opponent that's just dragging his heels, just whack them. But anyway, the backstab does fairly good damage, 430, sorry. And it's pretty powerful otherwise. Even though it started off like really low physical stats, it's still just fine. But the energy blade itself is not all powerful. But then again, can you think of any other weapon that hurls itself at an enemy? There aren't many of those. Now, power attack does around almost 400 damage, which is pretty good. Very good. Now, I'm not cheaping out here. It's a show tell, so it could damage a shield. So let's try this again. Come on, get off your damn pew. Alright, so using power attacks, I'll try and get through the shield. It would actually cause a lot of damage. Look at that, 2 power attacks and through. And not only that, I did 100 damage every time. Let's take it a step further. I use only normal attacks, not power attacks. Normal attacks does no damage, but however still gets through in 2 hits. Amazing. It's probably the best weapon for cutting through a shield I've ever seen so far. Even better than a plain Shotel. Well, it was such a slow opponent, the ranged projectile I thought would be initially easy, but you do need a bit of range between you and your targets in order so you don't get hit. Otherwise, the plain damage is okay, but mainly I gotta rely on DPS. But still, the ranged projectile does plenty of damage. So, against Dark Knights, it's good to get a sucker punch in. That's the amazing thing I like about this, just get a sucker punch on everyone. But yes, such a weapon with that nice range move, and it cuts through shields so easily, this is an excellent PvP weapon. Excellent. Because your opponent won't dare use a shield against you if you use this weapon. Alright, moving on to the pros and cons of the Crescent Moon Sword. On the pro side, let's get the elephant out of the room. You got a projectile blade. Can be thrown. It also has as a multi-dual function purpose of shield breaking and bypassing shield to do damage. Which is awesome. So very few weapons ever do that. And also, it is quite quick and nimble, even the special. Now, on the con side, it is a bit short. It cannot be infused. And it's quite tedious to acquire, going through the whole quest. But those are the pros and cons. Now, for the score for the Crescent Moon Sword, damage gets a 7 out of 10. Pretty solid damage overall. Reach gets 10 out of 10 since that is a projectile weapon, longer than any other normal weapon. Animation gets 5 out of 10 for at least having a special, a unique animation, but the rest of it being plain curved sword. Bonus gets 6 out of 10 for pretty much having a good dexterity polarity, but not so much on the points. Miscellaneous gets 10 out of 10 for having such multi-functions. And total goes 38 out of 50. Excellent weapon, I call. Excellent. So many good things about this weapon. It's amazing. So this weapon was turned out to be more awesome than I thought when I first looked at it. This is one of the few weapons on the wiki page actually did a good job on. Which in terms of information, where most weapons is very bland and it gives like no information at all. This weapon actually did pretty good. So in total, glowing recommendation for me, if you want this weapon, go get your hands on it. It's worth the effort. Trust me, it is, PvP or otherwise. But that's my opinion. But that's been showcased for today. I thank everyone here for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.